All right, thanks for joining again. Welcome back. Let's do a quick little follow-up on our previous video, which was about generating data that might be meaningful to us for some demo or just playing around. That has some signals that we have injected using Tableau Prep. Now, what we are going to do is actually walk through making a change and adding some things to the file and see how quick that would be for us. So here we have, you're going to have two files that I'll give you, actually three: the input file, the flow file, and this workbook. So let's go ahead and open the input file. And in here, let's say instead of 100 million, I want to spread 50 million. I want to spread 100 million. Let's actually see if that's exactly what this number looks like. Yep, so 50 million is basically spread across everything, but I want to change that to a higher number. And let's just say that is 100 here. And then I want to make a few additional changes. I'm going to go to the bottom and let's just say we are past August and I'd like to add a few more rows. This is kind of all I have to do. So I've added 3 new rows for September, October, and November. And then in this dimension, let's just say I want to make America's region a little bit, not that much of an overweight. So a little bit down in terms of the weightage. So let's just go with 46. And as I said before, these numbers don't have to add up to anything. They are all relative numbers within that same sheet. Let's go in here and add a new row. So we're going to add an 11th category. Let's call that clothing, still within the same industry. And let's make it 13, which is more than food. Shouldn't be, but more than food. But let's say less than electronics. Okay. We've done that. We also want to inject some signal for that particular row. So I'm going to add a new row and choose a random month. Let's just say this right here. Choose Americas and choose clothing in here. Now you see I didn't do anything. There's already validation in here that brings the new values in. So the clothing has automatically appeared, which is great. I'm a stickler for formatting, so sorry about that. All right, let's keep it like this. Oh, that's interesting. Anyhow, let's just say this was not doing so well, and it is 0.75. And let's say that was the same thing that happened the following month as well. And we had 0.78. So now that we have that, and let's say the following month, December, we finally caught up, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. So it falls down to 3/4 of what was expected and then starts recovering. But we have 2 different data points in here. In December, we recover. That's basically it, right? So if I'm not customizing the entire data, that's all I have to do. You could just completely change these to, let's say, pharma. Although this particular column really doesn't have any bearing on what we're doing. These are the actual categories, so you could add different categories within that particular industry. So now that we have done it, let's save this file. We made our data changes. Go to flow, open the flow file that I have provided, the data generator flow. Shouldn't take long. And let's just run it. Let's make sure we just refresh that in case there was any data caching. So we've refreshed that. Let's just quickly check that the clothing appears. So that would be in, I think, dim B. Where is the data? Let's minimize this in here and look at data. Clothing comes up, so that's wonderful. So I have the new data, and that's it. All I have to do now is run this flow, and I got new rows, and I mean that's basically it. We're done. Like in less than 5 minutes, we generated a new data set, and we can now look at it. This, if I refresh, which is pointing to the output file. It shows 100,000, which is great. Raw data, see the numbers jumped up, and now we have a new category for clothing. And then if I were to look at the signals that have been amplified in here, we got 2 of these data signals where the data was starting to go down. Let's just keep only and see what happens. Yes, in Americas, it kind of started going down and going up. This visual is actually for the metric with the signal and the metric without the signal, just so I can highlight it. But if I were to kind of bring this in here and just make a line here, you can see there was definitely a dip before we kind of go back up. So here, let's make sure that this makes sense. There we go. So that's the dip right there, right? But this is what we were expecting. So let me undo a couple of things, but that's it. Enjoy the data generator, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will do a quick little follow-up going through what I have created in the flow. The fact that we only have 3 dimensions, time, and 2 additional dimensions, I am going to make changes and add a couple more dimensions, but you should be able to just see what's done in there and follow and enhance if you want. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.